All right. I just want to say thank you very much once again for going and joining me now that we got the recording up and on. Yeah, it looks like we're missing the Nigerians for some reason. They might find it's a holiday. Okay, anyway, but that's fine. So guys, if there are any questions, once again, please don't hesitate to ask. Put them in the question box. I will answer them as quickly as possible. There are no stupid questions. The only stupid question is an unasked question. Not an unanswered question. An unanswered question is definitely not stupid. But any unasked questions are definitely right up there on my list for things that I don't like. Ask away. That's what I'm here for. That's the whole thing about these things. I'm here. Ask the question. We'll get on with it. Because I can guarantee you, if you're thinking it, you're probably not the only person who is thinking it. So more people the more things get asked, the better. Now, okay, I'm just going to go and show my screen, and we can go see the wonderful world of iVend. Yay! All right, so today on this wonderful day, the actual thing for today was iVend orders, layaways, and promotions, which I am going to go through a bit more. Specifically, now I'm going to try and focus on the I'm going to go once more through the order process just to give you an idea about exactly how everything goes and fits together, as well as the layaway creation, gift certificates, and then we're moving on to special pricing and promotions. And now that we're actually all caught up and we've got everything, and we're now back on schedule and back on track, I hope to remain that way, we will go and I might even try and go and dip my toes down into loyalty, but we'll see how far we get today. So, first off, and let's get back across and let's go and have a look at the order process again. First off, before I actually go and I dive too much more into this, can everyone see my screen? Just do the hand up signal. 1, 2, 3, 4, lots. Okay, right there. Yes, lots. Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to put your hands down, and obviously, I take it that if you can see my screen, then you can hear me, which is good. So, on that note, let's go and continue on. And more specifically, because guys, let's face it, this side over here with the point of sale, this is the point where we go and we do most of where most of the transactions go and happen. This is where everything. This is where all the magic really happens. The setups over here, once they're done, right? Those setups are more just to aid people going through and getting things all sorted out and up and running. Now, first things first, we're just going to have a quick review on some of the transaction types that we can do here. So, sales, refunds, exchanges, which I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with. Special orders, right? And once again, not allowed for cash customers. So I'm going to go and let's select Edward. And we can go select special order. Does everyone okay, if anyone doesn't know why, just put your hand up. Does anyone not know why we need a cash customer for a special order? Vanessa. Perfect. Okay, all right, I will explain. Okay, so the important thing about the reason that we need to have an actual physical customer in the system is for a special order is that we are actually recording it for somebody. It's not just like somebody walked in off the road and said, oh, I feel like ordering this, and walked off when we never see him again. You're actually tracking an order for somebody. And because of that, it does actually mean that we need to know who it is and what's going on there. So we can do things like we can contact him and go say, hi, Mr. Robinson, your shirt has arrived, or your pants, or your iPod, or whatever it might be. That's the entire reason that we actually have it here, because otherwise it's sort of, we received a special order and somebody paid in full for a iPod. Well, that's just disappearing into my back pocket, never to be seen again. You know, that's you lose accountability if you do not have this data in the system. So next up, I'm going to go select let's go select what we're putting on for an order. Please remember, guys, I know it says special order. I also know I'm here we can make this an interactive experience. Okay, guys, I have a question for you. Who remembers what special order translates to in the ERP system? Please write the answer in the questions pane so that I can just see that so I can just see what's going on there. Okay, all right. So I've got one or two. Okay, yes, that's correct, Luzon. That's sales order. Perfect. Okay, right. I hope everyone else remembers that because I only got one answer there. I was hoping for everyone to actually pile in on that, but I didn't see any others. Okay, but yeah, that is quite correct. This does translate to a sales order on your ERP side. So yes, once again, please remember the language of retail is different to the language of ERP. You know, I know it's something that not everybody goes and you don't always get. I mean, you know, come on, a sales order is a sales order. No, sometimes it's always a sales order until it's a special order. All right, so moving on. Oh, and then we have there we go. Oh, thanks, Jean-Paul. Okay, and then we've got. Then we can go continue on. Let's go and actually do my payments now. And with the special order, we're going to go take advance payment. Yes. Once again, you can go determine. Do you want to force the guy to go and take full prepayment or not? If you want to go put it as percentages, then that's more something that you would do in your extensibility. But otherwise, it will by default just go say, well, if you're ordering it, then generally you want a full payment up front. As well as comments, yay! And yeah, you can go say what sort of payment type it is AR payment or special order payment. So let's just go over here, click OK. You see that's come through. And once again, remember that if the balance is basically the one thing to always remember is that if the balance over here is red, you can't just go OK. In fact, you'll actually see it stops you from going OK. But once that balance is green. And if I was to do, actually that is something I didn't show you last time, which was a part payment. So let me show you that. So let's say somebody wants to use both cash, and let's go. So they want to pay $40 of cash, right there. You see, right? That's done the one cash side, but now they also want to go do the. Let's do the store credit, something straightforward. Let's go say that they want to do the rest on store credit. Once they've done that, then you can click. Oh, right there, of course. You can't. Sorry, I was thinking that this is the account one, but let's just go and do. And I haven't done exchange rate, so we'll do credit card. Okay, so here's your credit card, got your account number, your CVV2. Now, generally, when you select credit card and you're integrated through to a credit card service provider, you don't need to fill this in. The credit card service provider will automatically it just basically says you need your credit card details. At this point, it will activate the PED. That is your PIN pad device. So you pick it up and then they go and they swipe the card and it goes and it works it out, and then at the end of the day it goes, okay, congratulations, it's now sold. So I'm just going to go over here. It'll check what your expiration date is. I'm going to go say that it is 2018, just to make it a bit further along. CVV 125, and right there, what sort of card number? And then I think the card number over here, I think it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14. It needs to be 16 digits long, if I remember correctly. Authorizing payment, please wait. Card number is not valid, swipe the card again or try with a different number. So yeah, it's gone, it's thrown me out on that. Okay, so you see there is actually some, there is also some basic logic that is built into card numbers. You can't just go and randomly throw numbers at there, like I just did. It does actually go and ask for a specific number. When you are demoing the system, the demo stack actually has a demo number for you to use. So I do happen to remember it starts with 4. I just can't remember the rest of it. I think it's 4001 or something like that. But I'm not going to waste your time trying to guess it. I'm instead going to go back and just say, no, we're going to do a separate cash payment for for the whole amount, which is 82.99. And there we go, that's now completed. Okay, so now that that's completed, we can go through. Please do remember there is the, where is it now? Need to try and grab it over here. Please do remember there is, here it is, the simulated retail printer that we had a look at, and that will go and have everything up on it, ordered items, which things were paid. There we go, special order, what the amount was, all the rest of it. The entire idea is that the guy can actually keep hold of this, and when he keeps hold of it, he can actually go and when he comes back and says, oh, it's time for me to pick it up. Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Let me just go scan in this barcode. There you go. That's the reason we had such issues. It's transaction number 13. Lucky number 13, as they love to say in some of the places. Okay, all right. So here's the two. I now want to go and do a fulfillment on it. Hands up, who remembers what fulfillment is? Okay, I saw a hand blink over there. Yeah, Luzanne, Kirsty, Dylan. Okay, all right, guys. I'm just going to go put your hands down. Who here does not remember what fulfillment is? Peter. Okay, all right. All right. Okay, guys. Remember, this is as part of your once again retail to ERP language dictionary. Your fulfillment is your actual delivery. So this is your delivery process to your actual customer. This will come through as a delivery to your actual customer. To your actual ERP system. So you will see it as a delivery line over there. I'm going to go okay. All right, and you see it actually says, there you go. So part of it sneaks through and actually says, yes, it's actually a delivery. But you'll see that the total is 0, right? Because I already took advance payment for the whole thing. So that's fine. To go complete it, payments. Once again, you see over there it's 0. Yay! Which means I just click OK. Guys, to be very honest, this is the one, the reason I'm highlighting this is the one area I do find that some of the cashiers, it really boggles their brains that, I pressed cash and then I can't click OK and then it's then nothing works and it's all wrong and I hate you. So yeah, it's the traditional sort of user error thing that you sometimes get. But the important thing to note is that this over here, cash, is if it's not just cash, these payment types. If it's all 0, then there's nothing to pay. So you just go okay, and there we go. It's now being fulfilled. Which, if we have a look over here, is then going to print the transaction. Okay, and if there was an updated slip that I had, it would then go and actually print it out to go say that it is now being fulfilled. So that's over there. Guys, the one thing I do want to point out is that, yes, I have been showing you the simulated retail printer over here. But, and please remember, this is the thermal printer that it would be used. So this is using OPOS drivers. Please remember that we can also print out a A4, an A4, there we go, an A4 printout, which if we go over here, you can go to your, we can go to our print profile, default print profile, we'll open up that. You'll see over here it's got, this is the data that's associated with it. In XML, you don't edit it here. All right, you instead go and edit it. I'll show you where you edit it in a second. But you see that it's got over here the print type. Is it an XML report or is it an A4 report? The reason that we do that is very, very, very simply because obviously not every retail place that you ever go to will have OPOS printers. Case in point being Vodafone, which is actually, if you've seen any of our marketing material, you've seen that we've got Vodafone slathered all over it as one of our customers. We're very proud to go and have them as one of our customers. though though obviously, yeah, that is something that's rather nice. It's a nice recognizable name. But for them, they didn't actually end up buying OPOS printers. They ended up buying the version of the printers that they bought are not actually OPOS controlled. And unfortunately, they went and they bought a whole batch of them before they went and they consulted us on it. So they got a special deal. It's like Guangdong Printer Company, you know, from wherever, that it looks, they, don't get me wrong, they look perfectly legit. But the problem is that they just have got no OPOS drivers and you are stuffed without them. So in that particular case, we had to go through and rewrite the A4 report to go print through those. So yes, if it's not using OPOS, you have to go use the A4 report designer. Once you do that, then you can go and modify it to go and print out exactly how you want. I also know one of our other places in Kenya, they actually print out on dot matrix. Yay! I can I can almost hear the excitement from you guys hearing you might have to deal with dot matrix in retail. Yes, guys. Sorry. Sadly, in some places they still use dot matrix because I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's just, I personally find it hilarious. But yeah, that was yes, that was a lot of fun to try and get that up and running. But that's the important thing, is that you have to notice that you can select different report types that are associated with it. Now, for the actual reports, let's go over here. You can actually go and you can come over here to your receipt print formats. Well, and where is my... And once we go over here to our receipt print formats, we can then go open up, there's my quotation receipt. I'm looking for my transaction receipt. That's the one I'm looking at. Okay, we can then edit. It'll come over here. Guys, if you go and if you do a drop down here, you can go see it actually comes and brings it up in XML format. I would, before you go and you start making changes to here, I was just copying this just into a Notepad so you can save it. But if you don't do that, then don't worry, because if we go over here to, let's choose this one, we go C drive, down to C drive, program files x86, city access, retail, and if I remember correctly, it's management console. Then you can go see there's a folder over there called receipt formats. If we open up receipt formats, you'll see here are the different XML receipt formats. I'm going to just right click and open this one with a Notepad. Open with Notepad, there you go. And there we go, it's actually got all of the receipt over there. So you can actually go and see exactly how it's put together. It does mean that if you if there is an issue with the way that you go and you change this one, you can actually go and replace it. Now, the nice thing is that if you want to you can actually just cut and paste in this drop down over here. That's fine, that's what it's there for. If you do want to go and change things, you come along over here to design. And as soon as it opens up, it'll open up the receipt designer over here. Here you can start to go move things about. I'm not going to try and, I'm not going to spend too long on this because this is actually this is something else that we'd have a look at. There are actually videos and all the rest of it on there, but it's very simple. It's a drag and drop type. In this particular case, I'm going to go yes. Right, so it's a drag and drop type one. You can go and change where it aligns, how many, there we go. So now that's gone aligned over all 4 columns. Essentially, everything here is broken up into columns. So there's actually 4 columns that are associated with this. And this is, once again, it's the header. And then you can come over here and you can determine exactly what prints out on the sales items, what prints out on the exchange items, delivery, order, layaway, refund, etc. And then if you really want, you can even go and you can actually go and add new sections in. If there are more sections to add, depending on what they are, you can also go put those into here. So if you wanted to put in a quotation item section, you can do that here, and that'll go print out. You see over here, we've also got things like if, else if, so all of these end if, paper cut, blank lines, there's there are a lot of things in here that you can use, that you can go and use to go change exactly how everything looks, how it works. That's up to you. And as well, there is also a preview button, so you can go preview it at the end, and you can go see, well, what the different types of transaction go and look like. So you can go and actually use it on multiple ones. Please remember, it's once again, it's an idea about what it looks like. It's not. This is not cast in stone. For a very simple reason is that once it goes and hits the OPOS drivers, it will go and then start to change things like, for instance, the barcode down here, as well as that over there, the actual customer number. Those things will then change. So you will need, this is more something to go get it looking close to an approximation of how you want it to look. Then you can go say, okay, I've got it looking right, let's test it, instead of wasting piles and piles and piles of thermal paper. So that's which can add up and be a bit expensive. But that's all over here, and you can go and play with that and determine exactly widths, how things align, all the rest of it. It's a receipt. It's a designer. I'm sure you guys have dealt with these things before. I'm sure you know exactly what to do. Right, I'm not going to go save this because obviously I mucked around with it and I don't want to go wreck the present one in there. But that's where you can go and modify your receipt printouts over here. You can also go change which documents get printed out, and these documents over here, this is slightly different. This is for your documents that are going to go print out for your for your goods receipt, purchase orders, all the rest of it. So you can actually have different goods receipts, different goods receipts and different purchase order layouts for different staff and security users in different places, in different stores, as it were. But that's a bit off the beaten track for what we're dealing with at the moment, just so that you know that it is there. Okay, so we've gone through, we've done the sales order, we've done the sales delivery. Layaways, yeah, once again, layaways not allowed for cash customers, so let's bring up Edward. Okay, I could go select my layaway plan, as well as I can select my installments and durations. Does everyone remember where we go, where we set this up under layaways? And who remembers what the does anyone not know the difference between, does anyone not know what the inventory allocation method does? Just put your hands up. Okay, I see we've got more people coming in. Kirsty, Kirsty, is that your hand up? Okay, all right. So, all right, I'm just going to put that down. Okay, guys, I see we've got more people dialing in as we go along. Please remember, inventory allocation method is when stock leaves the system. So if it's on delivery, then it's only going to move on fulfillment. If it's on sale, it will leave once I do the sale. So that's very important to look at. Your installment counts, minimum installment, maximum installment counts, how small or how big you can put that. Please remember, you can actually go and adjust these in the actual point of sale. So now I've got it's set to layaway over here. I can bring up my item, right? And then if I go to my sale edit over here, right there, I can start to go and change things like my installment details and how many installments I'll be doing, how much I'll be paying, all the rest of it. So I can go and I can adjust that over here. All right. So that goes and that covers that. Let me go and just have a quick look against it. Okay. All right. So the next thing that we're going to have a look at over here is the gift certificates. Now, gift certificates, coupons, and passes set up. Now, the passes are not something that I've got set up in the system. That's something that we will have a look at tomorrow. But I do want to go and have a look at the gift certificates. So first off, let me go and just void this current transaction because we don't want it. Well, I don't want it in this particular case. And let's actually have a look at how the gift certificates are set up. So if we come across here to gift certificates, we can have a look. There is actually a gift certificate section over here in iVend. And we go to gift certificate, and you'll see that we've got a couple of different types over here. E-commerce gift certificates, which is part of e-commerce, I'm not worried about that. But the other two types is we've got store gift certificate and store credit gift certificate. Let's have a look at just the straightforward store gift certificate. Right. And you'll see that some of these things over here start to actually look a bit like your item setup. And you'll see over here, actually it pulls from product group. This is normally how we go and we deal with these things in the system, is that they are essentially just a placeholder item. So you will, on your ERP side, actually see your gift certificates in your item list. Having said that, because, well, obviously they do need to come through on the item list. Having said that, on this side in iVend, you won't actually see them as you won't actually see them unless you specifically ask for them in your unless you actually specifically look for them in the actual point of sale over here. Gift certificates are classed as a separate type of item. They are actually a sales only item. So that's how you'll probably see them in the ERP. We can set things such as a base price, and over here the base price is actually quite important because this is the minimum price that the gift certificate will, well, this is the recommended price the gift certificate will be sold for. Okay, it's the actual representative value of it. Next thing is the gift certificate type. And over here we've got a couple of different options. Everyone, please remember Control F1. I'm using it over here specifically because I want to go show you the different options that are associated with it, that are associated with gift certificate type, basically because the drop-down is not available on one I've already created. That is pre-printed, system generated, and user defined. Now at the moment my one is set to system generated, and this means that it will automatically generate a numbering series for your gift certificate from the system. Typically the gift certificate will go and print out on the thermal paper, and that's how so it'll print out at the end of the receipt. You're going to give it to the guy, here's your gift certificate. That's fairly standard in a lot of stores these days. However, what also goes and happens is in a lot of places they also have a look at pre-printed gift certificates. This is I remember CNA used to use these quite a bit back in the day. Back when it used to be a thing to go give gift certificates for birthdays, they would actually go and it would be you'd get like a booklet of certificates, and you could actually go tear them out and go and actually write in the value and all the rest of it. Obviously, people do that less and less these days because, well, yeah, if a certificate is pre-printed, then it's very difficult to keep track of them. Well, it can be very difficult to keep track of them. In fact, in one of our customers, they went and they had a whole batch of pre-printed gift certificates that just disappeared. Well, they were being moved from one place to another, and the truck got hijacked or something like that. When they found the truck, gift certificates were gone. The problem was that they were all mixed numbers. Nobody knew what they were, and it was about $1 million worth of gift certificates just upped and vanished into thin air. And it wasn't like they were all in the same series. They were all different series, so they had to go take a $1 million hit. Thank you very much. So yeah, these gift certificates, pre-printed equals money, and with the idea that it can be pre-printed, we can actually do things like gift certificate receipts, stock transfer shipments, and stock transfer receipts for gift certificates. These ones are specifically for gift certificates, specifically for pre-printed gift certificates. Also, that is why these days we generally recommend go with system-generated gift certificates because, yeah, they might not look as nice, but at the same time, they are more secure. So right there, you can't have them accidentally get lost. Finally, and I just want to go back to the last type of gift certificate, which is user-defined. Typically, we find user-defined gift certificates are used at your smaller sites. You know, one point of sale, well, one store, maybe 3 or 4 points of sale, but that's about it. Generally, you've got a manager there who can look at it and go say, I am issuing this gift certificate, or I am not issuing this gift certificate, and he keeps the book on him. That's it is there. You can do it. It's up to you. Well, it's up to them about exactly how they want to do it, but my recommendation is generally go with system generated. It's just easier, really. You can set the document number series over in our document number series generator, and it will then go and generate the gift certificates for you. We do have the option over here, and this is the next wrinkle in the gift certificate setup, is you can use the gift certificate as store credit. Now, the entire idea behind this, and we're seeing this a lot these days, is obviously if somebody has spent money with you, you don't actually want to go give them money back because they say, oh no, this is a terrible product, I want my money back. Very, very rarely does a store actually want to go give you money back. They would rather go and give you a gift certificate because then you have to go and spend that money in their store again. Look, once again, depending on legislation, and I am aware that Consumer Protection Act, the CPA does go and make, there are very specific regulations to that, particularly here in South Africa. Please be aware, once again, guys, you are, because I know you guys are used to dealing, I know most of you guys are used to dealing with ERP. Please remember that in retail, there's also another set of legislation that you do need to be aware of. Fortunately, it's not very, there's not a lot of it that you need to, well, there's not a lot of important things that you need to be aware of, and technically the store owners should be aware of it as well. But there are just one or two things. I have pointed out one of them before, like the surcharges on payment types, as well as the additional, as well as also some of the extra things that need to be taken care of for your layaways. Those are also something that people need to be aware of. This, once again, is also another area you need to be aware of. I am trying to point these things out as I find them, guys. But that is definitely something that you just need to be aware of, and just advise people, you know, right, hey, technically, you know, there is a limit to, you know, yes, you can give store credit, but if the guy's really emphatic, then, you know, the manager should have the authority to go say, okay, all right, I'll give you cash instead of that. Having said that, there are some things to just remember about it as well, is that there are also time limits and time periods. Because yes, I have heard a case of one guy who went and bought a shirt, and then 6 months later came and said, "Oh no, I don't like the color anymore," and wanted to give it back. And meanwhile, you could see that the shirt's virtually been shredded because it's been used. He probably wore it every day from the day he bought it until he wanted to hand it back. And then the guy turned around and said, "No, sorry, there's an exchange limit." Validity period, this is also very important to note. Obviously, well, first off, if it's set to 0, there is no limit. Okay, it's like 0 or -1, no limit. Normally, this validity period would be set to something like 180 days. There we go. Dyslexia rules again. And the important thing to note about it is that in that 180 days, it needs to be valid for, now, most of them I see are 180 days. I have seen some gift certificates go up to 720 days, and I have seen gift certificates as low as 45 days. The entire idea about a gift certificate, obviously, is that, you know, it's to get people back into the store. Having said that, a bit of research, a bit of interesting research. Yes, I know we do bombard you guys with some of these mails, but some of the research we actually do that goes into those mails is actually quite interesting. The research we've done on gift certificates shows that actually about 90 to 95% of gift certificates are never redeemed. I'll repeat that. 90 to 95% of gift certificates are never redeemed. They get stuck under a magnet on the fridge at best, or shoved into a wallet, and, you know, oh, well, I must remember to go and use that. And they never get used. Having said that, of the 5% of gift certificates that are used, 95% of those are always completely used. So, right, I love the way, that's one of the reasons I remember these numbers, is that they're so totally the opposite. 95% of them don't get used, but of the 5% of them, 95% of those get used and more. So very rarely do you get a gift certificate that gets partially used, and then people don't use the rest of it. People generally use the entire gift certificate plus a bit more. So gift certificates actually they're fantastic for getting people through the store, to get people in, to get people to go work, to get people to buy stuff. Something to note over here, please, and I'm going to come to expired gift certificates as well, is that once the expiry date is up, there is an accounting implication. Now, that accounting implication, all of a sudden I see the attention monitor spikes. Okay, guys, the thing about the accounting implication for gift certificates is a gift certificate's revenue shouldn't technically actually be recognized up until it's actually swapped for an item. There's also tax implications for this, because obviously a gift certificate will have things like VAT on it. Please be aware of that, and you also need to go and just be aware when it's redeemed, and that is something that typically the accountant the accountant or the place that you're dealing with will actually go and will go and say when and where the tax needs to be done on it. Now, I'm saying that primarily because this is something that differs from country to country. Some countries you only recognize the tax on redemption. Some countries you recognize the tax on sale. That's something else that you need to just be aware of over here. Once you've actually you've sold this, it should actually go to a suspense account, not a revenue account. Well, it might be a suspense account in the revenue accounts, but technically it's not revenue yet. And then once the validity period has expired, then it should get moved to the revenue accounts. This gift certificate over here should only technically have it doesn't really have a cost component that goes with it, because it is just a straightforward sales only item. So that is something, more things to consider. Next thing down, cashback. Can I cash out the gift certificate? This is very important once again, guys, because please be aware that people these days are seeing and I'm seeing this more and more out here in South Africa, is a lot of the supermarkets and places like that are starting to do money transfers. Okay, I know, for instance, Checkers, you can do your cash out at till. So if you want to draw cash at the till, you can do that. I can see they've also got the Checkers Money Market, where you can go, and they've even got sort of some very basic prepackaged money stuff that you can invest in and things like that. That's something else to go and consider. But people, I have known it that people can go and they buy a gift certificate and then send the actual gift certificate off to a friend who might be far away, and then they go and that friend will take the gift certificate and get cash back on it. So it's effectively a cash transfer, which once again, that kind of gets into banking area. So just be careful. It's available. iVend can do it, but you guys need to just be careful of your region and also the laws that are associated with it, because they might do it and there might be legal implications. People these days are, like I said, they're beginning to see a lot of their supermarkets and things like that as ways that they can actually go move cash around. So that is something just to be careful of. On hold, well, I don't need to explain that. UPC code. Once again, you can put a UPC code in here for whatever it is, preferably not with slashes, but you can put a UPC code in just so that when you scan it, it will automatically pick it up that it is a gift certificate. Next one up, price override allowed. So can I change exactly what the price is? Does it automatically open the price up for me to go enter it in? Does it open the description? So I can go change the description to go say what I want. Must you swipe a card? This is for magnetic. This is for gift certificates with a magnetic swipe on them. Then yeah, you would need to go swipe the card to go simulate the actual mag swipe on it. Typically that doesn't happen so often. Well, typically I'm seeing less and less these days where gift certificates have mag swipes on them. More likely they have, if it's a card, like an actual physical plastic card, it's going to have a barcode. Does it automatically print the gift certificate that's associated with it? And do you reprint the gift certificate on redemption or not? and what is the minimum amount for it to be reprinted on. So if I go over here and I select that, then it must have a minimum amount that's associated with it. I'm actually just going to go put this down to say, let's go put that down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So I've just modified that a little bit. So if I do a part redemption, does it go and reprint and go say how much is left or not? So these are all very important things to note. We can go OK. All right. That's the store gift certificate. Here's the store credit one that I mentioned earlier. Remember, the store credit one is basically if you don't want people if you want people to go and still keep the money within the store. Yeah, so that's something else to go consider. So how does this actually work at the point of sale? Well, let's go over here. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go and say, let me get my transaction types, and I'm going to do a gift certificate. Now, once again, you saw over here, gift card, gift certificate, gift coupon. It's like the layaways, lay-bys, however you want to spell it. Those are also there. Gift cards, gift certificates, all the same things. They're all, it's the same thing at the end of the day. It's just all spelt slightly differently. So over here, I've got my store gift certificate. If I've got a serial that's associated with it, I can scan that in. The price, salesperson, comment, I'll go and select OK. So that's now put in. There's my store gift certificate for $100. If I want, if I've got those items ticked, I can actually go and say instead of, no, I do want a store gift card. I can actually go item edit, and I can say instead of store gift card, I want it to be, well, there you go, store gift card, that's the one. I wanted to go say, with love from Granny, there we go. To Johnny. Okay, right there. So when it prints out, I will then go and have it actually as a, so there you go, it's $100 that's coming through. I click OK. There we go. Click complete. And yeah, if it goes and it prints out, then it will go and have the, okay, this needs to go and refresh. If I'd set it to go and print out, then it will go and print out with the actual gift certificate over there for it. I can then go and have a look at this and see exactly, I can then now go and redeem it. If I am going to redeem it, then it's pretty straightforward. I go over here, I select the item, I go and say payments, gift card, and then I go and enter in my gift certificate, my gift card number, and I can then go say how much it is and go and sell it. All right, so pretty straightforward there. Any questions? I'm not getting a lot of questions back from you guys today. Are you guys there? Yes. Okay. A couple of hands popped up over there, so I'm going to say that yes. That's. It's good to know that I'm not just talking to a blank mic. All right. So let's carry on. Okay, so I got one person who put up their hand, 2 people. Ah, yes, okay, all right. Hi, guys. Okay, all right, so, right, at least I got some of you guys going and listening in over here. So that's the gift certificate side of iVend. But from there, I also want to go and start having a look at things like, okay, we also have to have a quick look at coupons, which is, yeah, a very quick look at coupons. Because this is also something that that we do also need to have a look at. Coupons is generally something that typically we see a lot in the US. And the reason that we're going to see it more in the US than out here is they seem to really, really love it. If you see the coupons out here, typically it's going to be, oh, it's a 10% discount coupon. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward on what it does, But the real trick with it is that, and you'll go and you'll see that they can't be redeemed multiple times, that there's limits to them. So let's have a look at this coupon that I have here. And here we go. Some fairly basic things with it. You'll see that it's also fairly similar in setup to the gift certificate. Well, except for the printing part. We don't really print coupons. Well, you do have the option to print coupons. You can also print it at the POS. You can issue it at the POS as well. That's entirely up to you. But typically a coupon is something that's pre-printed that gets given out in either your local newspapers or in your either in local newspapers, or you can get them from the internet or wherever else from. Really, these things are all set up. Are all set up in a number of can be set up in a number of ways. The other thing is also with coupons is that people generally go and find that they don't. You need to be very careful about them because you can end up going and littering a lot. For instance, I do happen to go and if you're ever, I do happen to go see in some of these places, particularly if you're in your local Checkers or Spa and you've got you've got somebody over there who's doing taste testers. Typically you see them on the weekends, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or well, Friday, Saturday typically. Going there, have you tried new, I don't know, Roundtree Escort pork sausages or something like that? You know, they're meaty-licious or something. And you've got the little old lady there with the frying pan. She goes and she sits down. Well, she doesn't sit. She's got the frying pan over there with the different bits of sausage with little toothpicks in it. And typically, if my kids are there, I go and I see they wander up and they've got like 5 of these different things. I'm sort of I have my head in my hand, and fortunately, they're normally nice enough to go say, "Oh well, it's not a problem," you know. And it's not a problem that they've now gone and eaten half the samples, but still. The important thing to note over here with these is, yeah, once again, start date, end date. Typically, when they are there, they will go. The people with samples, they will give out coupons for the samples. Start date, end dates for these. Can you trigger it multiple times? So, do you have to have multiple ones of the? Can you go and you have multiple coupons in the system? Do the coupons build upon each other as well? Please be aware of that. And specifically, tomorrow we're going to be talking about this a lot with loyalty, because there have been cases where people have done loyalty and coupon systems that build on each other. And there's a couple of very famous cases where people went and people ended up going and actually playing the system and ended up getting away with, well, not quite murder, but they murdered the system, certainly. Somebody didn't quite look up and do their numbers quite correctly, including the one time somebody tried to go win a Harrier jump jet. But I'll tell you that story tomorrow. At least that'll get you guys back into the lesson. Okay, so trigger multiple, minimum order value. What's the minimum order you need to go there? Redemption number per store. Yeah, this is to go prevent you from going and, well, look, if it's basically 100,000, then yeah, you're fine. That's actually more stock than you probably actually have. But at the same time, it's also something you just want to be aware of, because you might just say, oh, it's only available to the first 100 people through the store. Redemption once per customer. So you can only go and use your coupon once, which is something that is normally ticked quite a bit. Like I said, in America, they don't do it. Because they use it for promotional purposes, and a lot of their advertising budget gets used for coupons. So they go and they get it set over there. They get it set over there, and they set exactly what they can and can't do with it. And also, yeah, they use it as, yeah, for their advertising budgets. They use it to go and for that quite a bit. Coupon report. Now, the coupon report over here is the actual coupon printout. So, what exactly you want to go? Well. How exactly you want to go and have a look at it. Let's just go over here. Can we go edit? Yeah, so what the basic report is and exactly how it looks. You can edit it for it to be exactly how you want it to look. So change it, add logos, remove logos. But to be very honest, that's only if you're printing reports, these from the system. Normally, once again, normally that's not something you do. It's generally printed out in newspapers or magazines or wherever else it is, so that's not something you need to worry about. Trigger quantity and applicable quantity. So how how many do you need to buy for it to trigger, and how many is it applicable to? So you might need to go buy 5 items, but it's only applicable to 2 of them. So that's also something to go consider. And yeah, that's this now we're going to get more into this into bonus buys side and price list and pricing. But this is something that you do need to consider on this side is how it triggers and how it applies. Because if it goes and it triggers and you go and you say, oh, well, okay, we've triggered, you need to buy 5 and then get 1 free, or buy 5, then the coupon activates for the last one. Those are all very important things about how you set this up. Discount type, percentage or amount, that's fairly straightforward. Can issue it POS, can print it POS. Is it serial controlled, and is the serial number auto-generated? So those are 2 that you need to consider over there as well. Finally, we get down to how this actually applies. Does it apply for certain products? Does it apply for product groups? Like you see it's set over here. These are all set for product groups. Does it apply for product categories? Please remember, product groups are your primary product grouping in iVend, whatever your product grouping may be called in your ERP system. Product categories is the additional product grouping. And then obviously if it's for certain manufacturers, so certain manufacturer, and you do actually find this where manufacturers will issue a coupon that's redeemable at the store. That's also something that you just need to be aware of, where they go and they do that. I do know that happens quite a bit with pet food. Yes, the cutthroat world of pet food. You wouldn't thought that it's that cutthroat, but man, oh man, when you deal with it, yeah, it's cutthroat like no tomorrow. Next one up, add well, is it for specific customers? And then do you want to delete any of the pre-existing conditions here? Next one up is applicable. Okay, so which, and now this is actually quite important because this depends on the terms and conditions of your coupon when you want it running. So is it applicable for certain days of the week, and is it applicable for certain times of the days of the week? So for instance, over here, the one I know about is, for instance, the happy hour special, where it's, you know, between 1 and 2 o'clock, come and buy something and get a free coupon for coffee. That's something that does happen over here, and it is something you do need to be aware of. Okay. Also, which stores is it applicable at, as well as which, as well as also if it's a store group. Remember, I think we did speak about store groups, where you can go group together your stores in different ways. Does everyone remember what store groups are about? Okay, who here does not remember what store groups are about? Okay, I've got Jean-Paul. Okay, so I've got 1. Okay, please remember, guys, store groups are, I'll show you those in a second as soon as I finish here. Store groups are different ways to go, once again, group your stores and how you want to go fit them together with each other. Okay, so this is very important for your coupon setup. And once again, your coupons typically go back into your ERP as a, well, they're typically used to go trigger a discount in your ERP. They're not actually something that your ERP tracks because there's no reason. Unlike gift certificates are generally come in as non-stock items. Your ERP won't actually go and track your your coupons, because your coupons are just, well, they're pieces of paper that will be randomly that are randomly bought in and will be redeemed within a certain time period. Yeah, and that is very important to remember. Start date and end date time periods, guys, very, very important to note. Finally, we get the print coupon button, where if you press that, like I did, it's thinking hard. There we go. Okay. Ta-da! Ooh, the crowd goes wild. Okay, guys, this is something that you do need to go and that obviously you can adjust it, change it, modify it, put your own spin on it. It's there. It's part of the report writing tools, which I'm going to get to, I think, in a bit later this week, but the report writing tools are there. You can change it and you can adjust it. And once again, it's not actually something I would expect you to print out from the point of sale. We do have the ability to do it, but it's not something I'm expecting you guys that you will really need to do. Please remember, once again, the reason we give you these funky options are because you need options. Because as any consultant out there knows, the more options you get, the easier it is to go and work your way around some of the wonderful processes that these people come up with. Yes, particularly processes that might have worked in the 1950s, but 70 years later, not so much. Okay, so a quick overview of store groups. This is something that I do think we went through, but but for whatever reason I can't remember. You can get different types of store groups. So pricing groups, taxation groups, and inventory groups. And the pricing group is pretty straightforward. That's you list your stores, which all go fit into the same price list. So for instance, all the stores in, say, Nairobi might have their same price list, whereas if they're in Kisumu or Mombasa, they might have a separate price list that goes with them. For the South African guys, this is like, say, Johannesburg or Cape Town. Cape Town stores might have different prices to your Joburg stores for different items, depending on what specials and how they're running, or even just your general items and general points. For instance, if it's in, say, Springbok, you will probably have a different price list because certain things are going to be cheaper there, while others will be more expensive than, say, Johannesburg. You can also go and use it to differentiate if you're using if you're going and you're using your different franchisees, or if you've got different companies running within the same system, then you can also use it to differentiate between different prices between the different company types. Next one up is similar for taxation. Once again, this also depends on where you are, because in some cases there might be special taxation that goes on for certain areas. I think Western Cape has got slightly different taxation on some things like wine than other places do. So this is something that you might just want to go consider over there. Other thing is, finally, this one over here is quite important, and this is inventory. Guys, this is something I do recommend that you actually use, because I know you guys, no matter where you are, you will probably run into this situation, and you are going to have, particularly in some of the cities out there, you might end up, for instance, with a place. I know out here in South Africa we've got a suburb called Westville that appears in several different cities, and there's Westville in Durban, there's a Westville in Johannesburg, there's a I think there might be one in Port Elizabeth. To be subject to confirmation on that one. I'm not from PE and I don't know the place very well, but I do think there might be one out. I do think there is one in another city. And so the problem is that you might have the name of a store as Westville Store. And somebody thinks, we've got a store over there in Westville. They don't think, do you actually have a store there? Is there actually a store? The cashier thinks, there's a store there. Meanwhile, it's a store that's maybe 1,000 kilometers from where you are. And this way you can actually go limit what the cashier sees inventory-wise to a certain area. So for instance, they might only see all of the stores in, say, Nairobi, all the stores in, say, Gauteng, all the stores in Lagos, so they don't go get mixed up and start sending them on an epic quest across the continent to two different places. Can you imagine that? Oh yeah, no, we've got some in our Corin branch. Oh no, meanwhile it's Corin, South Africa, as opposed to Corin, Nairobi. Yeah, things like that do happen. With the best will in the world, cashiers are not the most geographically literate. So store groups, very important, and very important to go segment your who sees what where. Yeah, so that is Keith's pro tip for today. Use that to go and make sure people don't have to go and don't get set on epic journeys unless they want to. Okay, now having waffled on about that long enough, the next thing I want to actually have a look at is pricing. Now, pricing is pricing is something that, first off, I do think we did have a quick look at it earlier on, but I just want to go say, price lists, iVend will come standard with 10 price lists that are set up. However, the big thing to note about this is that the price lists in an integrated environment pull from the ERP. I will say it again. Price lists in an integrated environment pull from the ERP. That's by design. In fact, the only ERP I can think of that it doesn't pull the price from is Sage 1. Okay, and that's probably because it doesn't really have a price list. For everything else, 300, Sage 300, X3, Nav, SAP, we go and we pull the price list from that system. And we put it into here. Generally, it actually goes and locks down the price list, so you can't change it. Though with later versions of iVend, you can change the price here. So for instance, I could actually change the price over here for this, let me just go and, for this two-piece frock with, what? I need to get my eyes tested. Two-piece frock with cute doll yellow. I could go change it for that, but then it won't go right back into the ERP. Okay, and if somebody changed the price in the ERP, it will just go overwrite whatever I have over here. So that is something, please be aware of that. We take it from the ERP. Prices should be managed from the ERP. For sheer consistency, it's just easier. The reason we do it that way is that otherwise you can end up with places where it gets, it goes and it ends up overwriting, and they can get into a conflict with each other, particularly if there's a lot of price lists to be changed. There is an import for price lists. Please be aware of that. Right, we do imports of price lists. If you've got multiple units of measure, we do prices per units of measure with base price, and then we'll split it out. That's all fine. That'll set it up itself, as well as will also be in a certain denominated currency that's there. You can also set which currency it goes through as. Okay. Also, please note we will not, okay, yes, very important point, guys. Because we pull the price list from the ERP, generally we go and we will add items to the price list. If they, we will add the item to the price list as soon as it's created in the ERP, and the ERP adds it to the price list. However, you might find there is a situation where you do need to go add a specific item to the price list, and you can then go set it. You can set it over there to go and add the item in. Don't actually worry. You don't have to go say, oh, is this one added, and am I going to double add it or something like that? That's not really an issue. Even I know these prices are added to here. I'm just going to go click OK. It's fine. If they added, it will just check and go say, okay, they're already added. It's not going to go wipe out the prices for them either. So that is something else to just consider. So 100, 10, and there you go. You can see the ones that I wouldn't have added in there. Something you might not have realized is over here, this top line is actually a filter. If I want to go and filter by anything, I can filter over here for it. The same thing as well. Please remember, you can also right-click, sort ascending, sort descending. This right-click menu is available pretty much everywhere where there is a grid. So you can go and have fun with that. It's something I don't always point out because I generally assume that you know about it, which is probably a mistake on my part. And we got a question. Woohoo! Okay, does the price list by product, is it different to the base price defined in the product setup? Okay. If no, which between this price and base price setup is automatically stated the product and cost? Okay, Jean-Paul, please remember the pricing resolution setup in the actual that we have over here in the help. As soon as it fires up, Control F1. There we go, Control F1. Please remember the pricing resolution order over here. The product base price, last price it looks at. All of these other ones over here are the price lists that it looks at. So this, which is this, these are the price list. It will look at this price list, and only if it does not find the item on here at all in any price list, will it then go and use the base price. That's the way it works. Okay. Yeah, that base price, guys, if you all remember, the base price is over here. base price is over here. Please remember it's the price of last resort right there. This base price is the price it will look for if it doesn't find it in any price list or in any resolution in anywhere else. And that means that it has to look through all the promotions, through the coupons, through the gift certificates, through store pricing, any pricing it can find. It quite literally, as you saw over here on the help, you saw over here in the help and the pricing resolution order, it's the very last one it looks for, right? Then yeah, it is actually that is the very, 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 very last one it looks for. Right? Please don't, please. This base price over here is one of my most hated things because everyone goes and assumes it's now the cost price, or it's got some mythical other power. Quite literally, it is the last thing in the system. It has got, there's nothing mythic about it. It's really right. A lot of people seem to think that it does more than it does. And it really doesn't. It is the last thing, last price ever used in the system, ever. All right, but okay, so enough about the base price, and you've seen over here, here's the price lists. Obviously, these synchronize across, and like I've said, we've been through that. Next thing up is the special price list. Now, the special price list over here is broken up into two types. Okay, one is the special prices for business partners. So here I'm going to have a look at the one for Donald. This integrates across in different ways to the ERPs. For instance, in SAP, this one comes across as period and volume discounts. It's the same for is this one over here, if it's based on the customer, then it comes across as your business partner special prices. If it's not based on the customer, it comes across as your period and volume discounts. Over here, as you drill down, you'll see that you can say for this specific item, from this date to this date, there is a discount of say 10%, and then the more you buy, the more discount it goes and it gives. Okay, so that's is what you consider over here, is what you can set over here. And it's, once again, it's fairly straightforward. This pulls from the ERP in most cases. Once again, please check what it goes and it says in your ERP setup notes. Okay, all right, but this is over here, fairly straightforward, guys. Yeah, and I'm sure you understand. Set your quantity, set your unit of measure, set your unit of measure, set your quantity, which will give you a base price. And from there you can go set what your discount is, and well, if it's a discount percentage or if it's a actual, okay, right there, I'm in read mode, or you can go set if it's a discount or it's an amount that gets a discount over here. All right, so fairly straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because you guys should be, once again, works very similar to a lot of the functionality you have in ERP. However, the next one is one I'm pretty sure you don't have in a lot of ERPs. And that is bonus buys, and this is and I will introduce you to a lovely little bit, or a lovely acronym, and the acronym is called BOGOF, buy one get one free. So, which is you can go see over here. I've got buy X get Y, and this is why once again this is why I do go and recommend you put in you install a demo stack, even if it's on a VM on a machine that you have. Just have a demo stack, guys, because the demo stack has these things preset up, and it's normally when I'm doing this, and I do this in person, I do the training in person with you guys, I normally go ask everyone, please set up a bonus buy. Congratulations, you guys just got homework, please set up a bonus buy. And yes, I do actually mean that, guys. Go and set up a bonus buy after this. But please realize that the normal thing, what happens over here is people end up going and setting up a bonus buy that's only available for 5 minutes last week, Tuesday. Right? There's a lot of settings over here, and you do need to realize what they will do. And that's why going and having the examples from the demo stack, the ones that are also in here, is very, 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 very important, because it will give you a base of what to work off of. My advice with these things is start broad. You know, it's fine if you go and you give more. It's fine for your first one. You start off with something that gives just a very broad, very general discount. You can go and get it. You can make it smaller later. You can go sort of set it up so, oh no, only this person at this time at this place gets discount. Don't start off from there like that, because otherwise you'll go and you'll set the entire thing up and you'll come across to your point of sale. You'll type in the number and nothing will happen. And you think, oh, well, this is stupid. I'm going off to go play Call of Duty or whatever it is. Or more likely to go work. But the thing is that, guys, you need to go and actually set this up in a very, you do need to go set this up in a fairly specific way. That's why I say set it up broad as possible, try and catch as many people with it. Then you can go and narrow it down and go say, aha, okay, well, actually, now that I've got this tested correctly, let's go and set it up so that it only goes and works for this person. And then you can go on and actually determine how it works. So, but let's just go through the fields. First thing that we got over here, code description. Yes, no, those I'm pretty sure everyone knows what those do. Next one up, active. The next option we have over here is promotion type. Once again, I'm going to bring up my friend, Control F1, the help, to go and actually have a look at that, which you can then go set up things like, oh no, we've gone and shifted to the applicability. You can then also, they don't actually have the drop down over here. So what you can also do over here, let me just go new, bonus buys. You've got two types of buys. You've got bonus buys and you've got fixed price. Now bonus buys is buy one, get one free. Fixed price is buy 5, get the cheapest one free. Okay, so they're slightly different in the way that they're set up. I'm going to go through both of them with you now. Back to here, buy one, get one free. Promotion. This is a bonus buy, so this is this is the one I was talking about. Has effective dates from date to date. Has effective times. This is something else that you can go set up over here. From time to time, minimum bill amount, maximum minimum bill amount, which is, you know, have to spend $100. Minimum quantity is a couple of minimum quantity. You know, you have to buy 5, then it triggers. You see over here, this is actually set to 0, and there's a reason for this. Is that these are for general bonuses over here. We're actually going to get up to the specific bonuses in a second. Next one up is discount type. So amount or percent, and this is once again just for general ones. Maximum redemption count per store. How many can you redeem per store? And can you repeat it in a transaction or not? So with this one over here, maximum redemption count per store is, you know, I've got, say, I can only, first 100 people past the till get the discount. After that it's off. Obviously 0 is infinite. In this case, can repeat in a transaction or not? Yes or no, because it's basically what you're asking there is it one per person. Particularly for some of these big transactions. I know the Black Friday transactions, they went a bit dilly with that. Promotion applicability count, how many times you want to apply it. So this is slightly different than this. This is how many of the promotions overall you want to do. That's the maximum amount that you want to do per store. So these might be different. You might only want to do 1,000 times, but you want to limit it to, say, 100 per store. You've got 5 stores, so you know that's probably the opposite way around. You maybe want to only do 300 overall, but you want to limit it to 100 per store. That way you can go and adjust exactly who does what, where, when, and how. Can you done that? Lowest value, does it go on the lowest value item? Where does the discount go? Does it go on the highest value item? Does it go on the lowest value item? How exactly do you set it? Do you exclude items that are already discounted or not? That's very important, because otherwise you're going to end up with double discounts, which is something you guys do need to worry about. You can, if you get discounts that build on discounts that build on discounts, you can end up in a case where you actually end up giving the item and money away to people. If you've ever seen the show Coupon Wars, that's pretty much how some of these people operate. They're going to end up with discounts on top of discounts on top of discounts, which eventually means that, you know, the person says, oh, well, I actually have to go just give this stuff away, and also get money back. Apply on item scan. Do you apply on item scan or not? What that means is, and this is quite important, is apply on item scan means that I, for instance, type in the number 109, which will go and then activate the discount, or and we'll come to the lovely shade of purple it is in a second, or do I go and or do I do what's called a best basket buy? Now the best basket buy means that I could have one item, let's say this 100-109 men's 80 days running, I can have it in multiple promotions. And then at the end of the day, depending on how I've set everything up, I go across to cash, it goes and it looks and says, ooh, this person's eligible for one promotion, is eligible for two different promotions. Depending on how I've set it up, it will then go and select it to go say, okay, well, it might be a case of he gets one of these, or he gets 5 of those, or he gets 5, say, running shoes, for instance. That might be something that he goes with, and it will then go give him the best basket buy for that. So, well, it gives him the promotion for the 5 for the running shoes as opposed to this, which will go and give him a better promotional amount. Right, next up, promotion color. You saw that when I scanned this specific promotion over here, it came up in purple. That is to go indicate that it is actually that the promotion is actually applied. If the promotion is not applied, then it will just leave it in white. I can go select multiple colors over here, including I've got these ones over here. I've got web colors, which are all weird, unusual shades. I've got system colors, which are mostly pretty straightforward. I've also, if I come back to custom and I go and right-click on the little white box over there, I can also generate pretty much any of 65,000 colors that I want over here. This over here is, and you can adjust it with your RGB, hue, saturation, and luminosity, and then you can also add it as a custom color to the system. So you can go to town on it. If you want a particular shade of tangerine, you can do that. But that's up to you and the customer. Customers see. To be very honest, guys, I see this. This is really nice to have in demonstrations. But to be very honest, I've very rarely actually seen people go. Well, I have seen people use it. When they do use it, it is very handy. But still, it's something most people forget about once they've actually put it in. Still, I would encourage you guys to actually use it. It is something that does seem to go and work very well. There you go. And do you only apply it once? So does it, this is once per transaction. So does it run once per transaction? That's it. You know, it doesn't go and look for it again. That's also just to go and help improve your run times. Because guys, if you've got a lot of bonus buys and a lot of transactions going on, then it can actually end up slowing things down at the till, particularly if your tills are not particularly high powered. Or otherwise, it can end up overwhelming the little SQL Express database. So just by going and having it only run once, it'll just check for it once and that's it. Next up, we have applicability. Now you guys will be familiar with the applicability from the coupon screen. The difference over here is that we've got something called customer special days. Now customer special days over here are, where's it? Add special days, there we go. Things like birthdays and anniversaries. And if you remember, I think I did point this out in the, when we're having a look at the business partners, that you can actually record their, well, in the customers, you can actually record their birthdays and anniversaries. And their birthdays and anniversaries over here are something that you can, well, you can put it in and say, congratulations, happy birthday. Get 10% off on these items today. Special mail goes out, guy goes and looks and thinks, oh, wow, these people are actually going and paying attention to me, as opposed to just thinking that it goes into spam. So no, it's something you can actually put out there. It does work rather well. You see over here it's got things for duration, which is days, well, you know, for that specific day, or is it that week, or is it that month, or is it days backwards and forwards. The reason that we've days backwards and forwards doesn't mean that you go back in time. It just means that, say, for 1 day beforehand and 2 days afterwards, you will actually be able to go, the special offer will be on for those days. It does just give people a bit of leeway because sometimes, you know, they might be traveling or they might be somewhere, and you can at least go say, oh, hey, it's your birthday, congratulations. Oh, you're not here today. Oh, that's fine. Come in tomorrow and pick it up, and we can still give it to you. Yeah, we've covered the days of the week up there. So happy hour special, very much so. The applicability down here, add stores, add store groups. Please remember you can do that. Add loyalty levels. If you've got your loyalty set up, you can add different levels of that over here, which I will show you. I think we do loyalty tomorrow. So loyalty is something that that I can have pop up over here. And then well, once again, if I want to add more special days, I can do that as well. I'm going to come to these other buttons at the moment, but the next one I want to go to is the setup. Now, the actual setup is, this is what you set, what you get, well, what you buy and what you get. So buy one, get one free. Buy one men's Adidas running shoe, get one, yeah, women's champagne suit in this case, which is, okay, I can see it happening. You can also go say, is it buy anything from a product group, buy anything from a product category, buy, or just all, you know. If you set it to all, it means that, yeah, essentially over here, because I've already got it set to product, I can't combine it with anything else. If you've got it set to all, it can then do all products. If you've got it set to, well, if you've got it set to all, then it will actually just rely on the setups that you set over here. Otherwise, if you've got it set to a specific one, so buy any specific item, then get a specific product that's associated with it. I encourage you guys to play with this because there are a lot of options. It's very, very thorough, and it gives you a lot of leeway. So product group. Is it for a specific unit to measure? How much of this product you need? So if I need to buy, well, maybe not 100. If I need to buy 10 of these items, then I can go say, okay, buy 10, get. You know, you need to buy 10 of these. You need to spend at least 100 Rand. Then it will go and trigger the actual get product. On the get product side over here, what do I get? I can get loyalty points, products, product groups, anything from product group or product category, or coupon, or a gift card. Now, combined together, for instance, with gift card, I could actually give out a gift card. One of our options with gift cards is sell and redeem in same transaction. And something else to go consider is that, once again, I know there's a lot of options over here, guys. Please don't activate all of them the first time around. Rather activate them one at a time slowly, and you get a feel for what they do, as opposed to activating all of them and then nothing works. So that is something I feel quite strongly about. And it's something, just when you're learning about it, take it slowly, turn things on, do a test, turn things off, you know, see how they all work together. Yeah, so over here on the get products, like I said, gift cards. Gift cards or product group, I can then do for specific units of measure, for specific quantity. Is it a discount percentage, or is it an amount that goes with it? Also, is it mandatory? By mandatory, I mean, do I need to have this item there in order for it to trigger? If mandatory is not checked, I can actually leave that open. It means that I just need to I need to buy one of the items that's available over one of any of these things here, and it will trigger this option. Same thing over here. Do I need to scan this or not? Or do I show a prompt for it? And get optional count, how many of these do I get? Do I get just one of these? Do I get 3 or 4 of these? How exactly can I go put the whole thing together? So once you've done that and you've played with that, as you saw earlier, you come across to your point of sale. I'm just going to go void current transaction. And 100, 109, I happen to know is one that we've automatically set up in here. You can have multiple promotions for the same, that's based off the same item, and the guy can go say, oh no, wait, I want that promotion linked to that item. So if there's multiple promotions linked to the same item, they will appear here. You can then go say, okay, in this case, I've only got one promotion. Then if I've got multiple get items, they'll appear over here. I can then say, okay, I now want to get that. I can at this point, if I want, I can actually click cancel, and then I don't get the promotion at all. Otherwise, I can go, let's just go do that, and I select that item, I click OK, and you'll see it actually brings it up over here in this lovely, stunning purple color that you guys see before you. So that's once again put up, and there's actually a separate line that's associated with the discount, so you can see exactly what got discount, where, when, how, and why, and that what the promotion was that got applied to it. Any of the other items that get scanned, they will get added at the end. You'll see they've only got white lines, these over here, not like the lovely snazzy purple color that's associated with those. Okay. However, on the other side, there is also an exclusion list. And the entire idea about this is, say, let's go over here to my get category or my buy products. And on the buy products, I select a product group. So let's say, I don't know, watches or gift certificates or something like that. However, there might be certain items in there that I do not want to go and give away. I can then add those items or product groups over here. Obviously, if you're doing a product group, you won't then add the same product group here, otherwise it won't work. You might add a product category though, which will go and be, so depending on how you've got your groups and your categories set up, you can then have them eliminate each other in certain ways. So for instance, I might put watches as a, I might have, say, watches as a buy category, as a buy group, whereas for product category, I can go say, oh, well, there we go. On this one, I've got watches. Whereas under product groups, I might have an electronics one that I don't want the watches to come from. So you can use those to set up two different groups to go and make sure that they work off each other. You can also do it for customer groups as well. So for certain customers, you can go say, my wholesaler customers don't get the discount. Once again, that's also to stop people from going and buying you out just because they can and being spiteful. You can also put it for serial details and batch details. These are quite important. Serial details, guys, if you've ever heard of shop-soiled goods, these are goods that are demo models. So for instance, like the you walk into some of these places, Nakumat or Game out here in South Africa, or Dion Wide or whatever else it might be, and they've got the TVs on display. Now a TV screen generally has a limited life associated with it, depending on the type of screen. However, after 6 months of being used and abused, they'll go and they'll say, okay, wait, we'll put this one back in a box, and this specific TV will get sold. It's got a serial number associated with it. It's got everything you need. They go and they sell it, and people go but when people buy it, they know that it's shop soiled. It's been used. It's the warranty is probably about half gone, and you know there's a limited amount of stuff that you can do with it. That's something to be very aware of over here. Same thing with batch details. If there are batches on products that you can go, that you say, well, this batch of, I think they do that with supplements actually. Certain supplements are not actually, they go and say, well, these supplements haven't been selling. We're just going to go put these out there, and people can then go and use, and we'll sell them at 50% off for that batch. Okay, all right. So that is now set up over there. Let me just quickly go and check. Are there no questions about this? I guess not. Okay, next one up is the, okay, and we've covered that. Okay, oh, so we just got one or two more things. So we're going to finish in about 5 minutes, guys. Other things I just want to go point out is the bonus bar hierarchy. Now, earlier I mentioned that you have a what's called a best basket buy. This is part of the setup for best basket buy over here. Essentially, this is the hierarchy of your bonus buys, of what it looks through in order to actually go and what it actually looks through in order to actually go and get your in order to actually go calculate your bonus buy, which discount you're getting. So it starts at the top, standard discount. You see over here I've got standard discounts, then it's got these ones as it goes further down, and it'll go work through however many of them that you've got over here. You can go choose exactly where these sit. So if I want to go and have these things move up or down, I can do that. I can also just go say if I want to set it to the first or the last. This is something that you will generally end up playing with when you go and I do mean playing with it, because it is a bit of an art to go and try and remember to go get all these things in the right order so that they trigger in the right place. This is something that you can actually go and get set up. This is something that you can, once you go and you get it set up, you can actually go test where exactly these things work. So it gives you the right bonus buy at the right time at the right place. I know I don't have too many over here, but please remember that, you know, at some of these big stores, they can have hundreds of these things going at one time. So this is something that you do want to keep an eye on, and particularly where they resolve, and particularly you want the ones that aren't active at the bottom and the ones that are active at the top, and all moved around and kept there. Somebody needs to actually manage this. This is a proper management screen that they need to look at. One other thing I do want to point out about bonus buys is we do imports of it. Okay? The bonus buys are, if I remember correctly, we scroll the way down, promotions. There you go. We do imports for them. Guys, I know that as ERP guys, most of your imports will be into the ERP. Yeah, most of the imports will be into the ERP, but there are certain things that will be imported into iVend that you do need to be aware of, promotions being one of them, primarily because there is no equivalent in the ERP, and we do not, it's not something that we would integrate across if we did. It's something that should actually be done in iVend. It's not something that you should muck about with in the ERP. All right. Next up is, okay, we've covered coupons, and we've covered product gross margin, and I think we've also covered the price manager over here. Once again, this price manager is something that's only in the unplugged version. Let me just go set up a basic one over here, select which price list, and also which price list I'm going to base things on. So actually what I should do is that one should be price list 6. I'm going to base price list 6 on price list 1, and then also just which warehouses it's associated with. I'm going to go to the avenues, and then I can also go and say how I want to adjust the price. So if I want to add or subtract prices or multiply the prices or any of those, I can go select for, say, different amounts, different percentages. I can also go and do different roundings from, to, round nearest, ends with, all of these things I can go set over here. I can use this to go check which prices, how they will look, what they'll look like, suggested prices, all the rest of that I can do over here with this. It's quite handy, but once again it's something that's only really used in unplugged mode, primarily because a lot of the stuff you'll be doing in your ERP anyway. Having said that, I think with the Sage guys, Sage you will actually get access to this. Okay guys, if there are no further questions, I am actually going to go and ring off over here. So you guys get, because we're on time and because we've got everything up and running, we're going to go and just, I'm going to call it here and now. Unless there's any other questions that are associated with that you guys want to know about. Yep, actually let me just go check something. There should actually be something going and popping up a bit later for where these actual videos are. Yes, I know I've been promising that for a week, and I know I've been trying to get through, but they are actually there. They do have the web page, and I am actually hoping that we'll get something shortly with it. All right, guys. If there's no other questions, I'm going to go and just end it here. And yeah, you guys have a great day. And I will chat to you again, same bat time, same bat webinar tomorrow. And we will get on then. Cheers.